The roadmap to the 2023 harmonized elections is clear. Recently, there has been gazetted fees. For example, for one to become a president, you need to cough out 20,000 American dollars or its equivalent. And what is disturbing is a lot of pretenders have been coming on wanting to become presidential candidates. And the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission had to put its feet down.
We need to see commitment from those that intend to fight for this office. So for the presidential, it's 20,000. It's not really the first thing in this country. It is happened across the country. In other countries, actually, there's a registration and regulation of political parties. And some of the requirements are so steep that not even everyone is able to register a political party. But in Zimbabwe, that has not been there. So this is also one of the ways that we ensure that as we get to 2023, the printing of the ballot paper, the printing of electoral material, when you have 23 presidential candidates, and even if you look at the wards, for us now, for people to contest in wards for council positions, they don't pay anything. So we're also seeking to see to the introduction, because the one that we've gazetted is for the party lists for senators as well as councillors, which are going to be the provincial councils. But for those that are vying for local authority positions, they're not paying anything. You just need to be 18 years and a citizen of this country, but you're going to be really implementing bylaws in a local authority. You're going to be running budgets for councils. So we need to also see commitment, because whoever has to run for public office must not be financially insolvent.
There is also another element which concerns the number of voters in a given constituency, a ward, or the country as a whole, provinces, who should give signatures to say this is the man we know. Do you have it in all these instruments which have been published?
The number of people that voted for, they participated in the elections, there were over 5 million. So if you look at that number, and someone only requires maybe 1,000 people that say we are supporting this person, the numbers might be low. We might need to revisit that. We need also to see your commitment. You are vying for public office, you intend to represent the people, you intend to make the laws of this land, you intend to administer the CTF funds. There is need for you to commit. You're not only supposed to come in for benefits, but also show your own commitment, so that we know that you are serious for the interests of the public. The Commission is empowered to regulate these fees, not through a multi-stakeholder or consultation with this, because these are the people who are supposed to pay these fees. So the moment you bring them together and discuss, at times may not agree to a figure which suits everyone. But what I would say is this is standard practice everywhere, and it's unfortunate that some of them are seeing as if we're closing the democratic space, but actually we're improving good governance and the best democracy that is required, because surely you cannot get out of nowhere and say I want to represent a constituency and run simply because the requirements are on the lower end. We need to see commitment from the person who's vying for this office.
He also spoke about what need to be understood by members of the public about why the diaspora vote cannot be given to Zimbabweans in the diaspora.
The law is clear that our voting in Zimbabwe is polling station specific. There have been issues around, people are voting in 2 different polling stations, 5 different polling stations to cap for that. Then the commission introduced polling station specific voting for you. In the day of voting, if you're registered to vote in Kambuzuma and you happen to be at a funeral in Mutare, you can't approach any of the polling station to vote. You can only cast your vote in Kambuzuma, where you're registered to vote. And this, some people have made arguments in terms of the diaspora vote to the court, and the court say that if you don't happen to be at your polling station during the elections, you're not able to cast your vote. Similar thing to those in the diaspora, they should come and register with the address that is within Zimbabwe, because we don't have a database of polling stations that are available outside this country. Also pushing for the public, to understand the issues around the data and the personal privacy of people's information. If you go to other countries, Mr. Ruben, you don't get access to the whole voters roll, including people's identity numbers. At times they'll give you the first 2 letters and the last 3 to show that you don't get everything about an individual, because this is a public document according to the constitution of the land. And someone will get into a building which you've never been in, they'll sign up as Ruben Barrow and they put your ID, which is very correct. How can you deny? Because they have your name, your surname, your sex, your identity number, your address. And also issues around criminality, because when you register to vote, you're a businessman and people know where you stay. That's straight to us. So in terms of standard practice that are pushed forward, it's important for us to also consider that, to see how we can then limit the information that we give to the public. You as an individual should be able to inspect all your voter registration details, but for someone else to then inspect all your voter registration details and collect them, it becomes very tricky.
Ruben Barwe at the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission in Harare.